गांधी जी के अंतिम जन तक।
Thank you so much, sir, for comprehensively elaborating on the theme. Next, as a speaker, we have among us Dr. Sudhir Kumar Singh. Sir is an associate professor, Department of World Science, University of Delhi. Sir is honorary director of Society of Social Empowerment. He is well-known panelist on various TV channels. Let's welcome Sir with big round. And after this, we'll have quiz. So please be seated, all of you.
I will speak without. Thank you very much. I think no need. I will unnecessarily handing. अगर ऐसे रहता तो ठीक रहता. I think I will reach by the end. I am a teacher. I should reach. Otherwise, there is no meaning of a professor. First of all, I must be grateful to Dr. Abhishek Kumar and his team to organize this timely debate on Constitution, our pride. A host of panel has already been deliberated about the different dynamics of the Constitution. Why we should be prideful about our Constitution. That particular component I think I will deal, and 2-3 points I will cover because 15 minutes time, and time discipline is also abided within the Constitution as the duty. And I know that people are hungry, so there should not be a gap between food and thought. So friends, Constitution never means that there is a democracy. Do you think that countries like North Korea, Saudi Arabia, Iran, China, which is a declared dictatorships, they have no constitution, they have also constitution. How you will determine that those constitutions are not democratic constitutions? Suppose you are suffering with fever, so you have a thermometer. So this thermometer is fundamental right. So if you have fundamental right, then democracy is there. What is the difference between a police state and welfare state? When you achieve democracy, police state is transcending towards welfare state, and when you achieve welfare state, you are a democratic country. Many people may ask the question, why directive principle of state policy, which is an essential part of our constitution, is not under the protectable and defendable part of the judiciary. It is not mandatory, it is not compulsory for the judiciary to obey that one. It is rather mandatory. Why it is so? It is so because we are a democratic country, and those promises which have been laid down within the ambit of directive principle of state policy is, there is tenets of democratic values, democratic dharma. Therefore, all political parties, either opposition or in power, all political parties are duty bound to obey the dictates which is given under the rubric of directive principle of state policy. But fundamental right is within protectable and justiciable caption, because Article 32, Article 226 provides you a right under which if your natural right is being violated, you can approach to the judiciary. And that is not available in the constitution of China, in the constitution of Iran, in the constitution of North Korea, and the constitution of Pakistan and Burma also. Because there are different layers of constitutions across the globe. In majority of the countries, constitutions are merely a tool of paper. It is not constitution till you are not conceiving it as a constitution. Dr. Ambedkar has very candidly stated it in the Constituent Assembly that constitution is a holy book, but if it is so, when the ruler and the subject, it means praja, both are abided with this dharma. And I also believe that Indian democratic system is getting stronger, has become an inspiration for the global democratic order, not because we have adopted constitution only, because we have a tradition, long tradition of justice. Kautilya has very candidly demarcated the justice portion within his Arthashastra. And Kautilya says many things about justice, but one thing is very important to mention. He says, for Raja, the only dharma is the promotion and protection of their praja. If Raja's son is an obstacle in that particular path, justice demands that Raja must behead the head of his own son. That is called justice. And justice is the hallmark of democracy. Without justice, you can't imagine the notion of democracy. If you will read John Rawls' idea of justice, or Amartya Sen's justice book, or Argumentative Indian, you can find those things in a very different way. We have a deliberative system. A Panwala will also debate with you, whether Panwala is 10th pass or BA pass, it never matters. But he has his own point. He will share with you. And that is democracy. Because Panwala and Ambani both possess a single boat. Ambani doesn't possess 95 boats. And do not forget all our girls. So, for your kind consumption, philosophy, political science, history students, I believe, are around. Aristotle, who belongs to one of the important ingredients of your syllabus, stated that woman should be, left without citizenship, must be given half food and should not be head of the state. But Aristotle remained part and parcel of not our syllabus, entire global syllabus of history, political science, philosophy and such parallel subjects. Why in America, next year America will finish 250 years of its constitution. We are just 79 or 80 years. 250 years, but not a single woman till date has become the president of America. I am of course not of the category who believes that if a woman becomes president of or prime minister of any country, the country will become Swarga. It will never happen. Indira Gandhi ruled us. Mamata Banerjee is ruling Bengal since last 15 years. And Gunda Raj is prevailing there. So, the person is ruling. Person's attitudes are ruling. If you wish to read further, you can read Hannah Arendt, Origins of Totalitarianism, a very famous book of political philosophy. You can read and you can make out how when John Acton stated that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. It happened. It is a natural phenomena. But democracy has survived. It is a matter of pride for all of us. We have not differentiated our women, at least civil and political rights ground. But West has not provided equality vote right to franchise to their women folk till World War II. Even Switzerland, which we are celebrating as a very open and deliberate democratic system example, they provided 1971. France provided 1944. Statue of Liberty is very much standing at the bank of Hudson River in New York. But where is Statue Liberty? French slogan was liberty, equality and fraternity. But where is liberty, equality, fraternity in order when you have deprived your women folk for common voting? Even France till date has not elected a woman as a president. Till date. France is just 70-76, America became democratic, 70-89, France became democratic. So only 13-year gap. So next 13 years, France will complete 250 years of their glorious democratic order. So we are very much fortunate enough that we have given our civil and political right at one go to everybody, not discriminated on any artificial ground. But so-called democratic order led by the West differentiated with men and women. Forget about other things. Men and women, we have not differentiated. So civil and political right, India is the only democratic system of the globe which has provided each and every right to their women folk from the day one of the democratic beginning. Only country. And that is the reason that after World War II, almost 80 countries became independent. They were under the colonial yoke. But how many among them are still surviving as a democratic order till date? Hardly 10. Because of the sanskara, because of the dharma, Kautilya elaborated that dharma has nothing to do with religion. It is moral code of conduct. And chaprasi to prime minister, everybody is abided by this dharma. Everybody has their own set of duty. What is wrong in the system today in democratic order? Everybody talks about rights. Nobody talks about their duty. My dear kids, do not forget that your duty is my right and my duty is your rights. So we all must be abided by our duty also. Although it has been incorporated in our constitution very late during emergency. And second point, that preamble you must read. We the people of India. We the people of India, so and so and so. So who is the custodian in democracy? Who is the Malik of democracy? John Marshall, who was Supreme Court, longest serving Supreme Court Chief Justice of America, 1801 to 1835, stated American Constitution is what the judges say. That is the beginning of the process of judicial review, and that established American Constitution came into being in 1887. And 1803, John Marshall laid the foundation of judicial supremacy in America. Therefore, America is known as a separation of power, a presidential form of power. So, judiciary is ultimate boss in democracy. But what happened in India, once upon a time, there was an encroachment of democratic order and emergency was imposed. 19 months, there was no law and order. There was a very fast debate between Supreme Court judges and advocates, and Attorney General, Solicitor General of that point of time, Niren Day, was asked by H.R. Khanna, only decent judge, if you will shoot me, should I go to the police? Niren Day said, no, it is emergency, you can't go. I will kill you, but you can't go to the court. That was the status. Then court was utterly surrendered before Indira Gandhi, brutal regime. So who came for the rescue of democracy? Common man. And do not go into their literacy level. Today we are 75% literacy. 2020 NEP is intended to 100% literacy very soon. But at that point of time, literacy was hardly 25%. But there is unaccounted figure, but 2 lakhs people have been killed during emergency while protesting against the barbarian regime perpetuated by Indira Gandhi. And it was a killing of democracy. But Supreme Court valedicted it on the notion of doctrine of necessity propounded by John Kelson. But who stood for democratic values? Common man. Common man who was illiterate. Common man who was not BA pass like you. Common man who was nothing to do with other things. But they understood the value of democracy, and that force American President